Hello, how are you? I'm about to tell you a story that you might never have heard before. It's about a little girl who did something very, very, very dangerous, which you should never do. So never ever copy what this little girl did. This is a story, and I've called it, and it's been called before, and its name is Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Because there was this little girl and she used to live in the woods. Well, she lived on the outside of the woods, near a town, but sort of halfway between the town and the woods, but a bit closer to the woods. And she used to sometimes go out of her house and walk around a bit in the garden. But one day her parents left the garden gate open, and so she walked into the woods. Now that's dangerous to start with, walking in the woods alone if you're a little girl, because there could be anything. You might fall into a hole and get stuck. Anyway, so she walked into the woods, and after a little while she began to get a bit lost. She sort of thought she'd taken a path she'd taken before, but it was a different path going another way, and she didn't realise that, so she ended up going right near the middle of the woods, and then in the distance she saw a house. She walked up to the house, and it could have been any house. It could have been the house of a witch. But strangely enough, she knocked on the door, and she didn't know it. But there was no one in. And she opened the door, and she saw a table. And on this table, there were 3 bowls. There was a big bowl, and a medium-sized bowl, and a little bowl. And Goldilocks didn't understand what this was all about, because she didn't know that this was the house of the 3 bears. There was a daddy bear and a mummy bear and a little baby bear. But Goldilocks didn't know that. She thought it was just normal people living there, and that they'd gone for a walk, because she shouted, "Hi, is there anybody home? Hello?" But nobody answered. Anyway, she walked into the kitchen area and she saw these 3 bowls, and she thought, "Oh God, I haven't eaten for ages. Do you know what? I'll just take a little bit of some of that stuff in that." And she looked, and it was porridge. She really liked porridge. It was her favourite food, and actually the kitchen smelled lovely, lovely of porridge. And it was like porridge with bits of sugar and a little bit of honey and some raisins, and that was her favourite porridge ever. So she got a spoon and she went straight over to the big bowl, and she took a little bit. But it was a bit peppery, because she didn't know it, but the great big bear, Daddy Bear, he always put pepper in his porridge because he liked the way it sounded, pepper porridge. So he'd say to Mummy Bear, "Hey Mummy Bear, why don't you cook me up some pepper porridge?" Because he liked that sound, the pepper. He was a bit crazy sometimes. Anyway, so in the morning he'd get out of bed and he'd stretch a bit and he'd go, "Hey Mama Bear, let's have some of that pepper porridge." So anyway, she tried a bit. Goldilocks, well, she didn't like it. She didn't like pepper. It nearly made her want to sneeze. But she didn't sneeze because she was worried in case there were creatures around or people around, or in case she scared the family pet, because there might have been a pet in the house and she didn't want to scare anything there. Anyway, so she left that bowl and she went to the next bowl, and she didn't know it, but that was the Mummy Bear's bowl. And she got the spoon, the medium-sized spoon, and she tried a bit of that porridge. It was salty, because Mama Bear, she used to really, really love salt on her porridge, which is weird. But anyway, she would say to Papa Bear would say, "Hey, what about that pepper porridge?" And she'd say, "Hey, what about my salty seafood porridge?" And she also had little bits of seafood in the porridge, like bits of fish and bits of little mussels. So Goldilocks looked down in the porridge and went, put the spoon down straight away and went straight to the last bowl, and the last bowl was a little bowl, and it tasted fantastic. Oh, it was sugary, and there was honey, and it was just so yummy. So she ate it all up, the whole lot. She meant to just have a little bit, but she sat down and she had one bit, and then suddenly she started thinking about how good it was, and she didn't even notice, but she was gobbling the whole lot up, and it all went, she looked in the bowl. She didn't really mean to do that, but she guessed that actually if they make porridge and then they walk out of the house, they probably expect people to just come in and eat their porridge, because otherwise why would you leave your porridge on the table and not eat it before you go? Anyway, so she thought she would shout again and see if anyone was there. She said, "Hello, is there anybody here? I'm really sorry about the porridge. I didn't really mean to." No reply. So So she walked around the house a little bit. She was getting a bit more confident. She thought, it's okay, they're probably out. Maybe they've gone away for the day. And maybe they just forgot about the porridge because it was too hot or something. So she walked around the house and she went into the living room. She opened the door, and then in the living room she saw 3 chairs. There was a great big chair and a medium-sized chair and a tiny little chair. And Goldilocks thought, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try and sit in that big chair, because she thought it would be fun because it looked really big. It was like a great big throne type big chair. So she climbed up the chair and she sat down in it, but it was really hard. And she got a bit of a sore bum. So she thought, oh, I'm not going to sit in that chair anymore. She got down off that chair and she tried the medium one, but the medium one was so soft, she almost disappeared in the whole chair like this. She fought her way out of the chair, and then she got down and she sat on the next chair, and the next chair was a little wooden chair with a little soft cushion on it, and she sat down. It was really comfortable, and she just leaned back. You know how sometimes you can lean back on chairs? She leaned back on the chair onto the back legs, and suddenly, crack! Oh, the chair broke. The legs of the chair broke and it was smashed on the floor, and she felt terrible. So she got off the chair, off the floor, stood up, and she tried to stick the chair back together like this, but it was too difficult because it had smashed into like 16 pieces. She was trying to get it together, impossible. So she was really sad about that. Anyway, so she thought, well, nothing to do about it. I'll just have a quick look around the house, then I better just go back home because this is getting really embarrassing because I've eaten the whole bowl of porridge and I've broken a chair. She went upstairs and had a look, and upstairs there's a really nice bathroom with a really cool shower and a big bath. It looked like a hot bubble bath sort of thing. And then she had taps, and there was really nice lighting. There was also a little TV room with a TV, and she was going to watch TV, and she thought, oh, I better not. It'd be a bit rude if they came home and I was watching the television. And then she went to the next room, and the next room was the bedroom. And in the bedroom there was a big bed and a medium-sized bed and a small bed, because Mummy and Daddy Bear, they didn't sleep in the same bed anymore because they found out a thing about little baby bears. So they decided they'd sleep in separate beds from then on, when they had the baby bear. Anyway, so she tried the first bed, but it was a bit hard. Didn't really like it. Again, Daddy Bear, he's quite big, so he could sit in the hard bed and it would still be quite soft for him. Hopped out, got in the next bed, a bit too soft. She sent into the bed and it was like she was sinking. Don't like this. Got off, went in the next bed, the baby bear's bed, and it was super comfy and it fitted her perfectly. She got the little duvet, like the covers. She cleaned out her ears so she could hear if there was anything coming, and then she put the covers up. She was just thinking about, I wonder who lives here. Who lives in this house? Who would live in a house like this? It's really strange. And suddenly she drifted off to sleep, and she was following her thoughts, and she went following her thoughts, and she was gone into the land of sleepy sleepness. Snoring ever so quietly, little Goldilocks on the pillow, but deep into sleep. So deep in sleep, actually, she didn't hear when the 3 bears came back to the house. Downstairs, she couldn't hear it. Daddy Bear, Mummy Bear, Baby Bear. What's the first thing that happens? What do you think? God, Daddy Bear looks in the kitchen, sees someone's been sticking their dirty spoon in his porridge. Who's been eating my porridge, he said. This is crazy. Look, the spoon's been used. The spoon's been used. It's not good enough. What's happening? He was really angry. And Mummy Bear as well. Oh, same here, Daddy Bear. Somebody's been sticking their spoon in my seafood porridge. My salty seafood porridge. I don't like that at all. Look. Spoon was dirty. Porridge had a little hole in it where Goldilocks had tried it, and also a bit where she'd spat it out again. Mummy Bear said, "Ugh, looks like they've spat in my porridge. I don't like that at all." Baby Bear was really hungry because Baby Bear hadn't had any breakfast yet. Looked in the bowl and started crying. Somebody's Mummy and Daddy let my porridge, and they've eaten the porridge. I'm in the bear with the porridge. Oh no, what's happened? And they all cuddled the baby bear and said, oh, don't worry, we'll make you some more porridge. So they all relaxed a bit and they thought, bears are good at smelling. They've got big noses. Do you know what? Something else has happened. And they all slowly walked into the living room. Daddy Bear straight away saw that his newspaper had fallen on the floor and the pillow that he usually had on his chair had fallen off as well. Somebody's been sitting in my chair. Look. The newspaper's on the floor and the pillow's fallen down and there's a little dent. Who's that? Who's been sitting in my chair? He's really upset. Mummy Bear as well. Mummy Bear said, me too, look, my chair. It's been ruffled. And the magazine I was reading, look, it's on the floor. Oh, she was really upset about it as well. And Baby Bear, look at my chair, it's 16 bits. Baby Bears were crying and crying again because Baby Bear's chair had been smashed to smithereens. Well, 16 bits, not smithereens. Smithereens is like more. Smithereens is like 1,000 bits, but 16 bits was still a lot. Mommy, Daddy, look at my chair. Daddy Bear said, don't worry, Baby Bear, I'll get some glue and I'll stick your chair back together. Don't you worry about that. Let's find out who's behind this. Let's get 'em. So the three bears, the big bear, the medium sized and the little bear, they walked quietly out of the living room. They went upstairs and they first checked the bathroom, but nobody had been in there, or it looked like there hadn't been anyone. Then they went in and they said, I bet whoever it was is watching TV. And they went into the TV room, but no one was in there. Then they thought, well, there's no one here. But then they remembered there was the bedroom. So they went like this. And they opened the door to the bedroom, and there in the bedroom, Daddy Bear went, oh, somebody's been lying in my bed, looks all messed up and I made it this morning. I don't like that at all. And Mummy Bear as well said, look, somebody's been messing up my bed. Look, all the covers are moved and they're wrinkled and and look, there's a head print on the pillow and I left the pillow nice and fluffy so I could sleep in it tonight. Oh, Baby Bear. Mummy and Daddy, look. And all three bears gathered round and they looked, and there was Goldilocks, fast asleep in the Baby Bear's bed. Daddy Bear began to lick his lips. I think, he said, we're going to have a Goldilocks for dinner. Look at her. It says on her top, Goldilocks. So I bet that's her name. I bet that's who we're going to eat tonight. Mummy Bear said, yeah, she's nasty. She spat in my porridge. And she broke Baby Bear's chair. I don't like her either. Let's gobble her up. And then Baby Bear said, yeah, I don't like her either. She ate my porridge and she broke my chair. And now she's sleeping in my bed. I'm going to beat her up. And Baby Bear got his big claws, because even though he's a baby, he had big claws like this. And he was just about to go like this, when suddenly Goldilocks woke up. And she saw the three bears. And she screamed so loud that the bears got a fright and they went, oh, what's this? And while they were going, oh, what's this? Goldilocks jumped up, sprinted out of the bedroom, sprinted down the stairs, sprinted down the open door and ran all the way through the woods for 1 hour and 45 minutes without stopping. And the bears, they tried to keep up with her for a bit, but it was too much. 1 hour and 45 minutes. She ran till she got to the edge of the woods, which was nearly where she lived, but it was a bit to the left. So she had to walk around the woods, and then eventually she saw her house. And then she went home, and her mum and dad said, where have you been? You've been out for quite a while. And she said, nowhere. I just went for a little walk, because she didn't want to tell them that she'd been naughty and been in someone's house and eaten some porridge and broken a chair and fallen asleep in someone else's bed, because you can't do that because it's naughty behaviour. Anyway, so Goldilocks survived, luckily, but she never, ever went into the woods again on her own. And you shouldn't do that either, because it's dangerous. Because if you see a house, it might be the house of a witch, or it might be the big bad wolf's house, or it could even be the house with three bears in it. So if you're in the woods, hang out. Stay out of the woods. Don't go back inside. That's enough of that one. So, do you know what? That was the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. And that was Goldilocks and the Three Bears, the proper version, the real one. And if you liked it, leave a like. And if you didn't like it, leave a dislike. Because I don't really mind. You don't have to like everything I do. It's no problem. Bye-bye for now. Have a fantastic day, morning, evening, night, wherever you are in the world. Bye.